Now then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. This is Catalonia. We are in round 5, I think, is it? Or is it round 6? This is round 6 of season 1 in our championship. We've managed to pick up a point so far. Our one singular point in China, mainly down to strategy. Yeah, things are going okay. We're just still waiting on the patch to come through and lower down the Hasses and the Alpha Romeos hopefully, which might give us a bit of a boost. But for now, we're not doing too bad. We've beaten our teammate Boccalacci, who is absolutely terrible, and I have Jack Aitken on my watch list to get in the future when possible. Because yeah, I think I've beaten him 4 out of the 5 races so far, and the only race I didn't beat him was Australia, and that's because I struggled really badly. I don't know if it's just a new game or what, but I struggled quite a bit. But yeah, we're doing alright so far. Halfway through qualifying here, we've done 2 flying laps. Cheers, Jeff, whatever you said. Done 2 flying laps. I think we find ourselves, well, down the bottom as per usual. George Russell doing pretty well. 7 tenths up on his teammate. I guess he is in real life as well, isn't it, to be fair? But considering Boccalacci's 6 tenths down on him is pretty bad. I really hope he improves. In fact, I think Russell's just gone quicker than me. So I've got some work to do here. I've used all 3 sets of softs in qualifying because I seem to have quite an issue with tyre temperatures on this track, particularly going around sector 1, the long left-hander, and then the second left-hander that follows it, and then round the final corner and on that fast corner just there, tyres are overheating quite a bit, so I've used up all my softs. I'm planning the race just to do medium hard, unfortunately, whereas everyone else is probably doing a soft medium or a soft hard. I can't see anybody else using too hard compounded tyres, but maybe they will, I don't know. On other games though, it's just a quick, simple one-stop race, and I expect it to be the same on this game. As we cross the line, we're improved by a few tenths. It's not going to get us out of Q1, and we are still P19th. Still P19th for the race then, where's his teammate? 21st. To be honest, it's a good job we didn't improve actually, because it looks like Raikkonen improved, so if I didn't improve I would have been behind him, not like it would have mattered. My starts have actually been something really good so far in this game, so hopefully I'll get a good start again. George Russell out qualifying me by, what, 2 tenths, a tenth and a half, so that's impressive for him. Let's see where everyone else is then.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula 1 calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. It's 730 metres from pole position down to a slippery turn 1 here, the first of 16 corners around this 2.89 mile racetrack. The long, wide turn 3 and the uphill right-hander of turn 9 can both be taken full throttle in the right conditions, but I doubt very much we'll be seeing any of that today. Now, Anthony Davidson, I wonder, might we be in for some early pit stops today from the midfield teams, all trying to put some pressure on or disrupting things for the leaders up front?
If you're in the middle of the pack, you know, you've got your own race to run. I don't think they're going to be thinking about causing trouble up front. However, closer to the head of the pack, don't be surprised to see some split strategies. If you're running second and third, for example, bringing one car in for an undercut while leaving the other one out there longer can put a lot of pressure on the leader and maybe force them into an error.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying section. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel and Albon, Ricciardo, Sainz, Perez and Lando Norris, Stroll, Ocon, Daniel Kvyat and Gasly, Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Romain Grosjean and George Russell, the engineer, Raikkonen, Boccalacci and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
It's a wet start and it's not going to last. I mean, looking at that, we're going to have 5 laps of rain and it's going to dry up. In fact, it's so dry, we're already starting on inters, and the track looks pretty dry just from the overhead cameras. I mean, it's only spitting there. We've got to be close to dries already, which is worrying because if the soft is overheating, I imagine the inters will be doing the same. But we are starting on the inters, because starting on the dries would just be suicidal at this point. But we're off on this formation lap to warm up these tyres, as Jeff will probably tell us.
Let's get the car up to temperature on this lap. We're learning the gears, so go through them all if you can.
There he is. Lewis Hamilton on pole position, not Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas has had 5 poles so far this season. He's had 5 fastest laps from races. He's finished in the top 2 5 times, and he's won 3 of those races. He is in danger of walking away with the title, and we're only in round 6. So it's actually refreshing for once to see Hamilton on pole position and not Valtteri Bottas. But we'll see.
Current forecast is 5 or 10 more minutes of rain before it dries up. Not sure whether dries or inters are faster. We're right on the crossover.
Wow, then they're already not sure if dries are going to be faster, so these tyres are not going to last long. These are going to overheat immediately. I already know it. I can feel it. But yes, Hamilton on pole, he'll be hoping that he can actually pull away for once, because yeah, he's in danger of being blown away at the moment by Bottas. In real danger of being completely left behind in the championship. So Bottas needs some DNF, so Hamilton needs to pick it up a gear. As we are on the grid, 5 lights in Spain and we're off. A usual very good start. Very good start with the Honda engine. Giovanazzi blocking me off. I've got the weave from side to side. Could go down the middle, but that would be suicidal at the early stages of the race. So I take it round the outside as we slide it. Ooh, contact there with Grosjean's wheel as we go around his 360 corner that he likes to spin on, but we maintain position with P17 as he's going up the inside. I've written nice and early because I'm not used to these wet conditions yet. All practice, I know I didn't show it, but all practice was in dry conditions, so everyone braking very early. We might even make up 2 there.
Keep pushing. Let's capitalize on
We
that
have
first lap.
everyone AI backing themselves up and going very, very slowly. 2 Toro Rossos fighting ahead. Gasly coming out worse, but not quite being able to capitalise on that one. What's the tyres like? Not overheating, so that's my days. That's a relief, but I almost ploughed into the back of Gasly there. I seem to be having quite some battles with him in the recent races. Obviously forced him off the track in Vietnam and he got his revenge in China. I can't remember if I had he had an issue in Netherlands which backed everyone up. But yeah, that was close to go into the back of him then as we end lap 1 and I get a bit offline to say the least coming out the final corner, but it's P14, 5 positions made on lap 1. We look down the inside of Kvyat, but that's not going to happen. The track at this point feels like it's drying. I mean, you can see the sun coming through in the sky there. The track feels dry. It's not dry, it's raining. As I pick up a warning for exceeding track limits, and my front left is overheating, and that is a sign that the track is indeed becoming dry, which is worrying. My tyre isn't just overheating, it's really overheating now. Really overheating. And it's not even just the front left, even the back
We
left.
anticipate an end to this rain in around 5 minutes. We're not certain which is the best tyre right now, dries or inters.
Jeff, still not sure. He's still not sure, but I need you to be sure, Jeff. It's
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
we're boxing. The tyres, if they're unsure, then we're literally about 1 lap away, and I can't keep these cool. I'm falling like a stone behind Kvyat. Falling drastically. Can't even make it round turns. The tyres, the surface temperatures are just going ridiculous. So we're gonna call it. I'm lucky. Oh, I was about to say I'm lucky to not get a corner cut there, but I did. So that's 2 already on 2 laps. That's going to be problematic for the rest of this race as we make an early pit, and well, this will either work brilliantly or it will be an absolute fail. But these are the kind of races where, well, where there's winners and losers.
Exit now.
You make a good call in the pits, or you make an absolutely terrible call in the pits. So let's see what this can do for us. We're on the mediums. We are 25.6 seconds behind, as I already struggled to find grip just going into turn 1. But 26.8 seconds behind now. DRS has been enabled, so the FIA, or well, not the FIA, but the officials obviously think it's dry enough now to have DRS enabled. So I should start to catch on Mokalachi ahead, 27 seconds. Let's see what happens, but I'm struggling to turn into corner at the moment. I think the track is still a bit too wet for me, but it's drying, and hopefully it will dry at just that point where they are just starting their final lap, and I can have a whole lap of just flooring it behind them. But I'm still losing time. I've lost a second on this lap to Mokalachi so far. 27.9 is the gap now. It's not 27.9. I can't really see. The bloody camera's off, was it? Is it 27 or was it 17? Well, I'll find out in a second. It was 17. So we have still lost a second then, because it would have been 16.8, I'm guessing. The camera weren't great, but we picked it up on this lap and we're closing in, so the track is clearly there now as we're setting personal bests. 1.5 seconds up so far through the first 2 sectors, and the pit lane is mad. The pit lane is absolutely rammed. So this is clearly the time to be jumping on. Everyone is looking at my tyres, my times, and seeing what I'm doing and thinking, yeah, we need some of that. We need some of that. It was wrong last time. Probably a lap too early for me to jump on it, but everyone else is clearly thinking, as I said, a session best in the 3rd sector. We should be going for fastest lap here. We could be on fastest lap in a minute. Come out where we are, P18. Russell behind us on soft, so he's obviously going to stop again, and he'll probably be quite dangerous. He's probably going to fly up to me. Well, I'd hope not. I'd hope it'd be quicker. We're setting session best now, so the track is clearly there now. Anybody still out on the intermediates is going to be struggling big time. So you've got obviously one of the McLarens, one of the Ferraris, one of the Red Bulls, one of the Racing Points, one of the McLarens, Toro Rossos, Hasses, Alphas, all still on the insers. Jeff wants me to do a non-stopper. What is he talking? But we set a fastest lap of the race. I don't think that will last. It was a 1:27, and Hamilton goes 6 seconds quicker on the next lap. Max Verstappen goes even quicker. So yeah, the track is clearly improving at this point. It's still spitting ever so slightly, but yeah, the track is getting quicker and quicker and quicker. And unfortunately, if I was thinking the race would be any better and dry, I'm actually falling behind Giovinazzi. I was right behind him when he came out of the pits, but then he was 2.5 seconds ahead, and I was 3.5 seconds ahead, nearly 4. Max Verstappen puts in a new fastest lap, and that's 5 seconds quicker than my lap, or my most previous lap, but I am going quick on this lap as well. It's still going to be, obviously, well, I'd hope it'd be about 3 seconds. Lucky not to pick up a penalty then. Any other lap I'd get a warning for that, and I'm already on 2 warnings. Very lucky not to pick up a penalty. Magnussen, straight past us, easy as you like. Absolutely no chance of keeping him behind there. The straight is too long. Hopefully I can probably well. I don't know about winning it back, but hopefully I can stick with him. And bloody hell, how have I not got a warning for that one as well? Really cutting it fine here. Two chances, well, three. That could have been a warning. I'm going to get a penalty here at some point. This way, it's really obvious. But try and stick with Magnussen. It's not going to happen. He's already 1.5 seconds to clear. He's out the DRS zone, and I'm now being overtaken by a Williams. So what an oh my! What is he doing? What has he done? He turned into me. I mean, like, well, I know it was a corner and I turned in, but he turned into me.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Fucking hell. Well, I've got to fucking stop, haven't I?
Copy that.
Fucking idiot, lap 14. I'm like, why would I stop on lap 14? I'm going to stop now. Fucking. Look at this. He turns in here, and I'm sure he turns out. He turned in, and he turned back out. If he kept turning in, he committed to that corner. He committed to turning earlier. If he kept turning in, then yeah, he would have gone on the grass, but that was his decision. He chose to turn in at that point, so he should have made the turn. Otherwise, keep going in a straight line. Oh, brilliant! I nearly crashed into a pit wall then. He chose to turn in then. He should have committed to that turn, not turn in halfway and then think, oh, I'm going to turn back into him. I'm obviously on the outside. He's turned his steering wheel into me. I've got wing damage now, and that's going to put us way back in dead last. I've chosen hard tyres, optimistic, but I think it's the only thing I can do now. There's 24 laps left. We'll try and do hards till the end.
Have to stop once now. One stop left.
Jeff wants me to stop again, but I'm on a fresh set of hards. I don't know what the wear will be like. We might be able to make them go to the end, but it will be challenging, to say the least.
Gap ahead is 20.3 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 5 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:22.5.
Latifi's still got to stop then, and he's about 20 seconds ahead. So I should be able to get a jump on him. Russell has actually pitted after crashing into me. I don't think he got damaged though. I think he just pitted for tyres.
Gap to the car in front is 31.4 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. We think they've got one more stop.
And Russell's going to stop again as well then. So 2 Williams ahead. They're both going to stop. I might be able to get a jump on them. But we'll see if we can close down the gap. But Rivals in 17th, so he's probably going to beat us in this race because he's got to be at least a pit stop over us probably. Latifi's in the pits, and we are no longer in last place, but we're being lapped. We're only halfway through the race and we're being lapped. And it's Bottas. So Bottas obviously got the favoured choice over Hamilton. It must have been Hamilton who decided to stay out on the Inters for extra lap, which is bizarre because he was race leader. You would have thought he would have had the first choice, but he's obviously stayed out on Inters for an extra lap. It's cost him, probably cost him the race because he is a long way behind. Bottas is only just coming onto the back straight now, according to the minimap. In fact, I think he's actually gone in the pits. So, yeah, a race where Hamilton would have needed to win to close the gap into Bottas, and it looks like Bottas is going to pick up his 4th win in 6 races. So yeah, scary stuff for the title at the moment. Scary stuff. We're up to 19th now as Raikkonen's pitted, but he's only 2.5 seconds behind me. And these on fresh tyres, as the tyre wear on my tyres feels like it's starting to show, as we're up to 44%. We came onto these on lap 10, was it? So we've done 12 laps, 44%, you're about 4% a lap. So I have to do another 12, another 4%, put me on 88%, where by the end of the race it probably would have been doable, but I would have been so slow anyway. Latifi and Raikkonen would have just overtook me. So probably my best bet to not finish last is to just put on a set of mediums, because I can't just do softs because they'll just overheat. Put on a set of mediums and try to not finish in dead last place. So let's see how well. Oh, goodness sake. I've only just come out the pits. 5th place, I'm being lapped by 5th. I know it's Verstappen, but I'm being lapped by 5th. Come on then. Go on. What an absolutely shit race. What a load of crap, eh? So we're 9.5 seconds down on Latifi. Been lapped by everyone at the 5th.
Been awarded a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race.
And just when you think it can't get any worse, I pick up the penalty. I mean, to be honest, I did well to go 22 laps without getting another warning after I got 2 warnings on the first 2. But I do pick up the penalty, so
Gap to teammate ahead is
22 seconds to teammate, so that's not going to happen. And I picked up another warning, so I need to be careful. I'm not going to end up with 6 seconds of time penalties here. I'm close to Latifi, so I might actually be able to get him and pick up a 3-second lead over him, so that I don't finish in dead last. But if I pick up another penalty, then well, I might as well retire. So we're in DRS, we're in Rich, and we're not gaining on a Williams. What on earth is going on this week? I'm being lapped again. Who are we being lapped by now? We're being lapped by a McLaren. Latifi's going slow, as I think he wants to give place to McLaren because he is quite close to us, and he's forcing us off the track and nearly make contact with the other bloody Williams. We've already made contact with one Williams in this race. Latifi has to give way, and that will help build a bit of a gap. 1.6 seconds the gap, and I've got a 3-second penalty. But we are lapping around 5 or 6 tenths a lap quicker, so we should be able to pull out a big enough gap to not finish in last. 2.5 seconds and only 2 laps left. 4.8 seconds, so yeah, we will not be in last as long as I don't pick up another warning, because I think I'm only 1 warning off of another penalty, because we get lapped by 7th place now. What an absolute disaster. And somewhere, I noticed this at the end of the race, somewhere I picked up wing damage. I don't even know where that happened. I don't know if it happened when I was overtaking Latifi, but somewhere I picked up wing damage, so I probably crashed with both Williams cars. And we come across P20.
That's the end of the race.
I
We'll
think
see you in Park Ferme.
P20. What an absolute disaster. I've been beaten by Boccolaccia, who's absolutely terrible. I've been beaten by one of the Williams. Nightmare.
They've done it then. A spectacular victory here in Spain and a massive confidence boost going into the next race. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. Let's have a quick look at how the driver standings have changed. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
Interesting choice today, I think. There's a few to pick from, but I think I have to give it to Danny Kvyat. He put in a rock-solid performance today, one that he can be proud of.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I think that might be the first weekend where I've actually finished lower than I qualified. I can't remember what happened in Australia where did I qualify, but qualified 19th, finished 20th here. Bottas wins for the 4th time in 6 races, and he gets fastest lap, so he pulls out another 11 points over Hamilton. So, yeah. getting a bit worrying if you're a Hamilton fan. And for the third weekend in a row, just when you keep thinking things aren't going to get any worse, but for the third weekend in a row, I don't get the bloody sponsorship bonus. I picked that sponsor as it was a piss easy sponsor. Answer 4 interview questions, that's all I've got to do. And the race was that bad, Claire didn't even want to talk to me afterwards. She didn't even want to talk. She didn't even want to say, you made contact with a few cars. She didn't care. She didn't care about the contact with the Williams cars. She just didn't even want to talk to me. And thankfully, the sponsors expired, so I can pick up another one. Someone that might actually give me the bonus this time. And in the end, I've gone for one that should surely be easier. It's just 2 questions. 2 measly questions. So if Claire can get her shit together and fucking come and ask me some questions after goddamn quali and race instead of fucking ignoring me, then we might actually get some bonus money. Anyway, we put that on. We put this new sponsor on car. We're going to choose a new helmet design. Maybe it'll give us a bit of luck for next race. But I'm going to need it because next weekend is Monaco. So if for whatever reason you liked me getting my arse kicked, stay tuned because Monaco will not be any better. It's not somewhere that I'm normally good at, to say the least. So yeah, if you want to see that, subscribe and you will probably see that by the end of the week. We put on major aerodynamic upgrade. We are gonna do which ones are we going for? Aero, durability, I reckon. No, I reckon wrong. Oh no, I reckoned right. So we put on a couple of programs and we are going to upgrade our second driver. I've been a bit tentative to do it, to be honest, because I don't know if upgrading the second driver only applies to this driver or if it will apply to all drivers in the future. I don't know, but I guess I'll find out when I get rid of him. But we put on an upgrade for the second driver. We're apparently the 3rd worst team now, so we've overtaken Haas, which is good. And we move on to Monaco and we replace our gearbox.